In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of volt-to-volt module. Basically, the main idea of the volt-to-volt module is that when something has changed in 1 volt, you would like to see some action or some object created or updated in another volt. So, for example, instead of using the replication, which then stores the information of the objects in XML file, stores it on disk, then you have another volt that is doing the import. You can use the volt-to-volt, which then allows you to configure cases like when project is created in 1 volt, I would like to create an object in another volt of the same project. You can choose which properties you would like to create there. You can choose if something has changed, for example, in 1 volt, then you can choose what properties you would like to change in another volt. So here I'm going to show you one example. The case is for the document archiving. I have one rule created here, which states when document entered state expired, create archive record in an archive vault. The vault is enabled and I want to react on when object entered state. So let's see what is the trigger source. Trigger source is document, class document, and we are going to monitor the state expired of document approval workflow. Okay, so this is the trigger, the same as in every other module. The vault where we would like to create the object is called demo volt-to-volt. This is the login type, this is the username, this is the password. You can also specify other connection details that are used for connecting the vault we are working now and configuring now with the target vault. Okay, here you can specify what is the action you would like to do. In this example, we want to do the create object, but in a very similar way, you can also use the update or delete object. Create object, you can specify the create settings, what you would like to create in another vault. In another vault, I would like to create something that has alias ot.documentarchive. Okay, I am also going to specify the alias for class. It's class.documentarchive. And then I'm going to do some property mappings. Property mappings is done in a way like this. So you can specify what is the source type. In source is the vault where I'm going to when I'm going to trigger this action. Okay, so I have the name or title, I have property created, I have some URL, and then target is where I'm going to map this property. So name or title is mapped to the pd.name in a vault that I specified here. So it's completely another vault, not the one that we are currently working on. In the same way, I done the mapping of other properties. So created the property created in a source vault, the vault we are working now, is going to be mapped on pd.date. You can specify either by alias, ID, GUID, or the name. Also, I'm going to do mapping of source property URL to some property there which is referenced by this pd.document link. So how it works, how it actually works. Here we have one document which is in a source vault, which is now in state document approval. It is in state active. When I move this document to the state expired, okay, I will have to refresh this one. Okay, so I have this in state active. When I move this document to state expired, this will trigger the extension kit rule because it is configured to be triggered when document enters the state expired. And if I go to completely different vault, what I can see here, that new object has been created right now. I can see that fields like name, date, and document link are automatically created here. So once again, if I go back to the original vault, I can see test Iki Academy. which is then mapped to this field because I have configured property mapping in a vault-to-vault scenario. So name or title is mapped to pd.name. Date of creation is mapped to the pd.date field. And finally, what I have is the expression, and I'm taking the URL from the source vault and I'm adding it to the property document link. So here we have document link, which has a link to the original file. Of course, this document link needs to be configured as an URL, and in that way you would be able to click on this link and open the document from another vault. So in these kind of scenarios, I can also configure another rule which will be used for updating, and then if I'm going to be changing something in the source vault, this change will be propagated to the destination vault.